She's curvy, innocent, and just a dancer. He's ruthless, powerful, the Korean Mafia boss. One look, and everything changes. Virgin or temptress? Who will win his heart and his world? The music is loud enough to make the walls tremble. Velvet lights wash the stage in red and gold. Smoke curls low across polished floors. Glasses clink. Men laugh too hard. But when Noella steps onto the stage, the room changes. She doesn't rush. She walks. Every movement deliberate, controlled, confident. Her curves shimmer under the spotlight, wrapped in silk and sequins. She doesn't just dance. She commands. Men lean forward. Bills wave in the air. Whispers ripple through the crowd. But Noella isn't smiling for them. She's working. Her expression is calm, almost distant, like she's somewhere else entirely. Then, the lights shift. Upstairs. VIP balcony. Private section. A man sits alone. No drink. No company. No reaction. Black tailored suit. Immaculate. Still. Yeon-Woo. He doesn't clap. He doesn't grin. He doesn't lean forward. He watches. Not her hips. Not her body. Her face. Her eyes. And that unsettles her. For the first time in months. She stumbles. Just slightly. No one else notices. But he does. The dressing room buzzes with energy. Girls laugh. Count tips. Fix lipstick. Noella wipes sweat from her collarbone and exhales slowly. The club owner rushes in, nervous. VIP upstairs requested you. She doesn't look up. I'm done for tonight. He lowers his voice. You don't understand. That's Yeon-Woo. The room falls quiet. One dancer whispers. That's Yeon-Woo. Another mutters. The one who took over the East District. The owner nods. He doesn't come here. Ever. And he asked for you. Noella's stomach tightens. She's heard stories. Deals made in silence. Men disappearing overnight. Businesses folding without warning. Power without noise. She stands. 5 minutes, she says. The music downstairs fades as she climbs the staircase. Each step feels heavier. 2 bodyguards open the door without a word. The room inside is dim. Warm amber light. Dark wood. Silence. Yeon-Woo stands near the window overlooking the city. His reflection in the glass makes him look untouchable. He doesn't turn immediately. He knows she's there. She waits. Professional. Composed. Did you request a dance? She asks smoothly. He turns. And that's when she understands the rumors. His face is calm. Too calm. Eyes sharp. Calculating. Cold but not cruel. Just observant. I requested a conversation. Her guard rises. We charge by the hour. I'm aware. He gestures to the seat across from him. No music. No stage. No spotlight. Just silence. She sits. Crosses her legs. Maintains control. That's not how this usually works, she says lightly. I don't do usual. He pours tea instead of alcohol. Strange. The steam rises between them like tension made visible. He studies her without apology. Not lust. Assessment. You don't drink, he says. It's not a question. No. You don't let customers touch you unless management insists. Her pulse skips. He's done research. You bought the place? She asks. Not yet. The word yet lingers in the air. She leans back, masking unease. So what exactly do you want? He steps closer. Not invading. Not aggressive. Just close enough that she can feel his presence. Close enough to make the air thinner. You dance like you understand desire. His gaze lowers briefly, not lingering, then returns to her eyes. But you move like someone protecting something. Her throat tightens. She laughs softly. You're reading too much into choreography. He kneels. Not submissive. Strategic. Now they are eye level. And somehow, that feels more intimate than if he had towered over her. His voice lowers. Calm. Direct. Are you a virgin? The world outside the room disappears. The music downstairs fades into nothing. Her heartbeat roars in her ears. Of all the questions she expected. Not that. She searches his face for mockery. For humiliation. For hunger. Finds none. Only curiosity. Measured. Serious. Intentional. The silence stretches. She could lie. It would be easier. Safer. But something about his gaze doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like a test. And she refuses to lose control. So she answers. Soft. Steady. Yes. No shame. No coyness. Just truth. For the first time. Yeon-Woo blinks. A flicker. Surprise. Not because he doubts her. But because he didn't expect honesty. The tension shifts. He stands slowly. Not predatory. Not triumphant. Just thoughtful. Interesting, he murmurs. She rises too. You brought me up here to ask that. He studies her one last time. No. Beat. I brought you here to confirm something. Her pulse quickens. And what's that? His gaze softens, just barely. That you are not what this place thinks you are. Silence. Dangerous silence. Because no one has ever looked at her and seen more. She turns toward the door. Time's up. He doesn't stop her. Doesn't touch her. Doesn't order her. But as she reaches the door, he speaks again. From tonight on, no one touches you. She freezes. You don't own me. I know. His voice is calm. But they won't touch you. A statement. Not a threat. Not a demand. A promise. She leaves without looking back. But downstairs, the club owner receives a phone call. One sentence. Transfer the deed. The next night, the club feels different. Same lights. Same music. Same men. But the air is tighter. Controlled. Whispers move faster than the beat of the speakers. No one's allowed near her tonight. Management changed the rules. VIP balcony is reserved again. Noella pretends not to hear. She adjusts her earrings in the mirror backstage. Her reflection looks strong. Unbothered. But her fingers tremble slightly. He changed something. Without touching her. Without owning her. Without even asking. And that unsettles her more than desire ever could. When Noella steps into the spotlight, she notices immediately. The front row seats are empty. Security stands closer than usual. The regular customers are kept at a distance. No grabbing hands. No drunken shouts. Just space. She dances, slower tonight. More controlled. More aware. Her eyes drift upward. The balcony. His there again. Yeon-Woo. Still. Unmoving. Watching. But tonight, there's something else in his gaze. Not curiosity. Protection. That realization sends a dangerous warmth through her chest. She hates that she feels it. After her set, she doesn't wait for an invitation. She walks straight upstairs. Bodyguards step aside immediately. The power shift is obvious. Inside the private room, Yeon-Woo stands by the table again. Tea already prepared. You changed the rules, she says, not bothering with pleasantries. Yes. You can't do that. I already did. His calmness irritates her. You don't know me. I know enough. She steps closer. You think because I said one honest thing to you, that gives you the right to control my life. His expression doesn't change. I removed access. Not your freedom. That's the same thing. No. He finally moves closer. Freedom is when you choose. Access is when others take. The words hit harder than she expects. Because he's not wrong. But she refuses to surrender that ground. You're not my savior. I'm not trying to be. Silence. Then he says something that shifts everything. You dance because you need money. Not because you enjoy being watched. Her breath catches. How would you know? Your eyes. He steps closer, but still leaves space between them. They leave the room before your body does. No one has ever seen that. No one. She looks away first. He places a folder on the table. She eyes it suspiciously. What is this? An offer. She doesn't touch it. I don't sign things without reading them. Good. She opens it carefully. It's not ownership. It's not a buyout. It's a performance contract. Private events only. High security. Limited audience. Triple her current income. Clause included. She can terminate anytime. No penalties. Her eyes scan quickly. No exclusivity clause. Only if you choose. You're giving me options. Yes. Why? He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he studies her again. Because I don't want you here. There it is. The truth. Not jealousy. Not control. Disapproval. For the environment. For the hands reaching toward her every night. She swallows. You think I'm too good for this place? Yes. The answer is immediate. No hesitation. No manipulation. Just certainty. And that shakes her. She closes the folder. You asked if I was a virgin like it meant something. It does. Why? He steps closer now. Still not touching. You don't belong to the world these men imagine when they look at you. Her chest tightens. They don't know me. I do. You met me yesterday. And you haven't lied once. She laughs softly. You don't know that. He leans slightly forward. If you were lying, your voice would drop half a tone. Her eyes widen. He noticed that. That level of observation feels intimate. Too intimate. The tension thickens. Her pulse quickens. She tests him. Steps closer. Close enough that her perfume lingers between them. Do you want to touch me? A dangerous question. He looks at her. Not at her body. At her eyes. Yes. Honest. No hesitation. Her breath falters. But I won't. Silence. Why? Because I want you to want it first. The words land heavy. Different from every other man she's ever encountered. No grabbing. No claiming. No pressure. Just patience. Powerful, terrifying patience. A bodyguard knocks. Interrupting the tension. There's an issue downstairs. Yeon-Woo's expression shifts instantly. Cold. Focused. Dangerous. He steps away from her like flipping a switch. Business mode. What issue? A customer got aggressive when security stopped him. Yeon-Woo glances at Noella. Handle it. The bodyguard hesitates. He mentioned her. The room goes still. Noella feels it immediately, the temperature drop. Yeon-Woo's jaw tightens. Remove him. No raised voice. No anger. Just command. The bodyguard leaves. She watches Yeon-Woo carefully. You didn't even ask what he said. It doesn't matter. And if he comes back? He won't. The certainty chills her. For the first time, she fully understands. This man is capable of erasing problems. And for some reason, he's doing it for her. She gathers herself. I don't need protection. Yes, you do. She meets his gaze. And what do you need? The question surprises him. For a second, just a second, the armor cracks. Then he answers quietly. You. Her heart pounds. That's dangerous. He nods once. I know. She walks toward the door again. But this time, she pauses. Turns slightly. If I sign this, it's my choice. Yes. And if I walk away? I won't stop you. She studies him carefully. Testing for a lie. Finds none. She exits the room. Downstairs, the club feels smaller now. Less powerful. Because she knows something they don't. The most feared man in the city? He isn't obsessed with her body. He's obsessed with her truth. And that might be far more dangerous. Fade out. The club owner looks like he hasn't slept. Pale. Sweating. Nervous. All dancers are gathered backstage. No music. No laughter. Just tension. I have an announcement, he says, voice shaking. Noella stands still. She already knows. The building has been sold. Gasps. To who? Someone whispers. The owner avoids eye contact. To Yeon-Woo. Silence. The kind that feels like a vacuum. Every dancer slowly turns toward Noella. Because they all know. He didn't buy it for business. He bought it for her. The office upstairs has changed overnight. New security system. New guards. New rules. Yeon-Woo stands by the window reviewing financial reports. The club is now legitimate on paper. Taxes cleaned. Accounts reorganized. Security restructured. He didn't just buy the building. He purified it. His right-hand man steps forward. You could have acquired 10 properties for the same price. I didn't want 10 properties. A pause. You've never altered operations for a woman. Yeon-Woo closes the file slowly. She is not a distraction. Then what is she? His answer is quiet. Potential. She storms into his office without knocking. Bodyguards hesitate, but step aside. He allowed her access. That alone sends a message. You bought the club. Yes. Why? To change it. You changed my life without asking me. He studies her carefully. You still work here. That's not the point. Then what is? She steps closer. Her voice is sharp, but there's something vulnerable underneath. You don't get to rescue me. His jaw tightens slightly. I didn't rescue you. Then what did you do? I removed risk. She shakes her head. You think danger scares me? No. He steps closer. I think you've lived with it so long you mistake it for normal. That hits harder than she expects. Because is right. She's used to hands grabbing. To drunk men pushing boundaries. To management choosing profit over safety. But now, no one dares step too close. And that shift is disorienting. Cut to a dimly lit warehouse. Rival boss across a table. Whiskey glass in hand. You're telling me Yeon-Woo shut down 3 of our supply routes this week? Yes. And he bought a nightclub. The rival laughs. That's not his style. A henchman adds. He's been seen there repeatedly. Same woman. The rival's smile fades. A weakness. Another man shakes his head. He doesn't have weaknesses. The rival leans back slowly. Everyone does. Noella sits across from him again. This time, she's calmer. She's signed the contract. Her choice. But she needs answers. You've had power for years, she says. Why now? He considers his response carefully. When I walked into that club, I expected noise. Emptiness. The usual. And I saw someone surviving with dignity. She looks away. That's dramatic. No. He leans forward slightly. It's rare. Silence. You think I'm fragile, she says quietly. I think you are untouched by corruption. She almost laughs. You know what I do for a living, right? Yes. And that doesn't bother you. It bothers me that you think it defines you. Her breath catches. He's not trying to own her. He's trying to elevate her. And that's more dangerous than lust. Later that night, a black car parks across from the club. Engine idling. Watching. Inside, 2 men observe the entrance. Confirm it's her. It's her. One smirks. So the rumors are true. Cut to inside the club. Noella finishes a private performance, strictly controlled audience, high security. But as she leaves through the side entrance, a hand grabs her arm. Not violently, but boldly. She spins around. A man she's never seen before. Smiling too wide. You're famous now. Security rushes forward instantly. But the man whispers something before being pulled away. You should be careful who protects you. The words linger. She tells him. His expression doesn't change. But the room feels colder. Describe him. She does. His right-hand man's face tightens. That's from the Han faction. Yeon-Woo stands slowly. They are testing. Testing what? Noella asks. Me. She steps closer. Because of me? Yes. No sugarcoating. No lies. Her chest tightens. You said you removed risk. I removed what I could. And what can't you remove? He looks at her. Ambition. She studies him carefully. Am I a liability? The question hits harder than she intends. His eyes darken slightly. You are the only thing in my life I did not calculate. Silence. And that frightens me. That's the first time he admits fear. Not of enemies. Of her. Her existence disrupts his precision. She steps closer. Soft now. Then walk away. He doesn't hesitate. No. That single word carries weight. Not obsession. Not desperation. Decision. He hands her a keycard. My private estate. She stiffens slightly. You're inviting me there. I'm giving you access. There's a difference. Yes. She studies the card. If I come, it's because I choose to. Yes. And if I don't? I will still protect the perimeter. The words are simple. But loaded. She walks toward the door again. Stops. Turns. You didn't buy the club for business. No. You bought it because you couldn't stand watching me belong to it. He doesn't deny it. And that silence confirms everything. She leaves. Outside. The black car from earlier drives past again. Slowly. Watching. Cut to Yeon-Woo standing at the window. Phone in hand. Begin phase 2. Morning. Noella wakes in her apartment. Sunlight slips through the blinds. Her phone vibrates. Unknown number. She almost ignores it. But something in her chest tightens. She opens the message. A photo. Taken last night. Of her. Leaving the club. From across the street. Her breath freezes. A second message follows. You become expensive. Her hands tremble slightly. For the first time since meeting Yeon-Woo. Fear doesn't feel abstract. It feels personal. His office is silent when she walks in. She doesn't knock anymore. She just walks straight to him and places the phone on his desk. He looks at the screen. His face does not change. But the air shifts. Cold. Controlled. Deadly. Trace it, he tells his right-hand man. Within seconds, orders begin moving. Phones ring. Vehicles are deployed. Information is gathered. Noella watches him carefully. You said you removed the risk. I remove the obvious risk. And this? This is retaliation. For what? For caring. The word lingers in the room. Caring. He said it without hesitation. Without shame. That does something to her. Cut to an underground poker room. Cigarette smoke thick in the air. The rival faction leader smirks. You think Yeon-Woo will break? One of his men replies, he hasn't broken in 10 years. The rival leans forward. Men don't break over money. A pause. They break over women. Cards hit the table. He built an empire without emotion. Let's see how long that lasts. Back at the club, security is doubled. Cameras upgraded. Movement restricted. Noella stands backstage staring at herself in the mirror. For the first time. She looks uncertain. Another dancer approaches quietly. You okay? Noella nods. But her reflection betrays her. Because now she understands something she didn't before. She's not just dancing in a club. She's standing inside a battlefield. And she didn't ask to be here. She goes to Yeon-Woo again that night. But this time. Her voice shakes slightly. You should let me go. His eyes narrow. Explain. If I'm the reason they are targeting you, then I'm the weakness. He steps closer. You are not a weakness. That's what they think. I don't care what they think. She raises her voice slightly. You should. The room falls silent. No one speaks to him like that. But she does. And he doesn't stop her. If something happens to you because of me. It won't. You can't promise that. His jaw tightens. I can. No one is untouchable. Silence. Heavy. Then he says quietly. I am not protecting you because I'm invincible. He steps closer. Lowering his voice. I'm protecting you because you deserve safety. That hits deeper than she expects. No one has ever framed it like that. Safety as something she deserves. Not something she must earn. Night. Black SUVs move silently through the city. Yeon-Woo's men intercept a shipment tied to the rival faction. Warehouse doors burst open. Calculated chaos. Not reckless violence. Strategic dismantling. Every move precise. Every retaliation measured. Yeon-Woo does not shout. He does not rage. He eliminates. Within hours, 3 of the rivals' operations collapse. Financial accounts frozen. Supply lines seized. Key lieutenants detained. A message sent. Clear. You do not threaten what is mine. Back at his estate, Noella sits alone in a quiet room. The house is massive. Beautiful. But empty. She hears footsteps. He enters. Suit slightly disheveled. Not injured. But tense. You went after them. Yes. Because of me. Because they crossed a line. She stands. Yeon-Woo, this is escalating. He walks closer. It was always escalating. Her chest tightens. You're not afraid. I am. That stops her. You are. He nods once. I am afraid that you will decide this is too much. The confession is quiet. Vulnerable. More intimate than any touch. She steps closer. You don't fear enemies. No. You fear losing me. Yes. There it is. Truth without pride. without dominance. Just honesty. She reaches for his hand. Not because she's scared, but because she chooses to. He stiffens slightly, surprised, then relaxes. Her fingers lace with his. Warm. Intentional. You didn't choose this life, he says softly. Neither did you. Silence. You could walk away, he adds. Could you? He doesn't answer. Because they both know the truth. He cannot dismantle the empire overnight. And she cannot unknow what she feels. Outside. Security lights flash briefly. Movement detected at the perimeter. His men rush to handle it. He doesn't move. He doesn't let go of her hand. Because this moment is more important than panic. Later that night, another message arrives. This time sent directly to Yeon-Woo. A single sentence. We'll take her where you can't reach. He reads it once, then deletes it. He looks at Noella asleep on the couch, exhausted, peaceful, unaware. His expression hardens. He turns to his right-hand man. Prepare full containment. Of them? No. A pause. Of everything. Fade to black. Chapter 4 changes the story. The rivals are actively targeting Noella. Yeon-Woo admits fear for the first time. Noella understands she's inside a war she didn't choose. The conflict is no longer subtle. It's escalating toward kidnapping. The estate is quiet. No security chatter. No ringing phones. No movement in the halls. Just the soft glow of evening light filtering through tall windows. Noella stands barefoot on the balcony, overlooking the city. For the first time since the threats began, there are no sirens in the distance. No tension in the air. Just stillness. Behind her, Yeon-Woo watches. Not like a boss. Not like a predator. Like a man afraid to break something fragile. She doesn't turn when she speaks. Why haven't you touched me? He doesn't pretend not to understand. Because you haven't asked. She turns slowly. And if I never ask? Then I never will. The answer is immediate. Certain. No frustration. No resentment. That kind of control is rare. She steps closer. You're a man who commands rooms. Who moves armies. Who collapses empires. Yes. And you're waiting, on me. Yes. The simplicity of it unsettles her. Most men in her life took. He waits. She walks past him into the living room. Soft lamps glow. The atmosphere is intimate but not planned. I've spent years, she says quietly, being looked at like something to consume.
Will you marry me?
He listens.
Yes, I will.
Silent. Even when they didn't touch me, they imagined it. Her voice wavers slightly. You were the first man who looked at me and asked who I was. He steps closer. Not too close. Just enough. I asked if you were a virgin, he says carefully. Because I needed to know if the world had already stolen something from you. Her breath catches. And if it had, I would have hated that it wasn't your choice. The room feels smaller now. Warmer. Her eyes soften. You're dangerous, she whispers. Yes. But not with me. He shakes his head slightly. Never with you. She studies him carefully. You're always in control. Yes. That must be exhausting. For the first time, a faint crack. His shoulders lower slightly. It is. She steps closer. Close enough to feel his breath. What are you afraid of, Yeon-Woo? He looks at her. And for once, he doesn't answer strategically. I am afraid that when you see the full weight of my world, you will decide I am not worth it. The honesty hits her chest. You've burned cities for less than what I represent. Yes. And that doesn't scare you? No. But you do. Silence. Heavy. Electric. She reaches out first. Touches his sleeve. Soft. Intentional. He goes still. Waiting. She steps closer. Close enough that her heartbeat is almost shared. You said if you ever touched me, it would be because I asked. Yes. She swallows. Then I'm asking. He exhales slowly. Not hunger. Not urgency. Reverence. Instead of pulling her closer, he kneels. The most powerful man in the underworld. On his knees. Not in submission to her body, but in respect of her choice. He looks up at her. Say it again. Her voice trembles slightly. I want you. He closes his eyes briefly, as if memorizing the sound of it. When he stands, he moves slowly, giving her space to change her mind. She doesn't. He touches her face first. Not her waist. Not her curves. Her face. His thumb brushes her cheek gently. You are not something to take, he murmurs. She leans into his touch. And you are not something to fear. The kiss is slow. Not rushed. Not desperate. It feels like two people stepping into something sacred. Fade to softer lighting. Implied intimacy. No details. Just closeness. Hands intertwined. Foreheads resting together. Breath shared. Later, they sit on the floor near the couch. Wrapped in quiet. Noella rests her head against his shoulder. You didn't rush, she whispers. I waited long enough. She smiles faintly. You're different now. Yes. How? I have something to lose. Her chest tightens. You always had something to lose. He shakes his head. No. Before her, he only had territory. Money. Control. Now, he has her. And that changes the battlefield. His phone buzzes on the table. He ignores it. It buzzes again. She notices. You should answer. I don't want to. The third vibration is longer. Urgent. He exhales and reaches for it. His expression shifts. Cold returns instantly. She feels it. What happened? He looks at her. Measured. Careful. They've moved. Her stomach drops. Moved how? He stands. All outer security has been tested in the last hour. She rises too. This is because of tonight. No. His voice hardens. This is because they believe I'm distracted. She steps closer. Are you? He looks at her. And answers honestly. Yes. Security outside increases. Guards reposition. Engines start in the distance. She walks toward him. You regret this? No. Even if it costs you? He cups her face gently. Especially if it costs me. The weight of that promise hangs between them. Outside. A distant car engine stops just beyond the perimeter. Unnoticed. Unseen. Inside. They stand forehead to forehead. Unaware that this is the last quiet moment they'll have. 3:17 a.m. The estate is silent. Security rotations steady. Cameras active. Perimeter locked. Inside, Noella sleeps peacefully for the first time in weeks. Yeon-Woo is awake. He doesn't sleep deeply anymore. Not since the threats escalated. A faint flicker on the security monitor catches his attention. Camera 12. Static. Just for half a second. Then normal again. His eyes narrow. He doesn't panic. He doesn't shout. He presses a button on his desk. Report. Silence. Too much silence. Then, the power cuts. Darkness swallows the estate. Emergency backup lights flicker red. Footsteps. Not his men's rhythm. Different. Faster. Intentional. Yeon-Woo moves instantly. Gun drawn. Mind clear. Heart cold. He reaches the bedroom. Window shattered. Curtains moving in the night wind. Noella gone. On the floor. One of his guards. Unconscious. Not dead. Professional work. A message. On the wall in black spray paint. You hesitated. For the first time. Yeon-Woo's control fractures. Not visibly. But internally. Because they didn't just breach his property. They touched her. She wakes to motion. Hands restrained. Eyes covered. Heartbeat pounding. She doesn't scream. She forces herself to breathe. Remembering something Yeon-Woo once said. Panic clouds strategy. She listens instead. 3 men. 1 driver. Highway speed. One of them laughs quietly. The boss will enjoy this. Her jaw tightens. Fear tries to rise. But something steadier pushes it down. He will come. She doesn't know how. But she knows he will. Back at the estate. Yeon-Woo stands in the center of the security room. Monitors flicker back online. His right-hand man speaks carefully. They used signal jammers and inside timing. Inside timing. A traitor. Yeon-Woo's eyes sharpen. Lock all exits. No one leaves the organization. Phones ring simultaneously. Commands fly. Warehouses raided. Financial channels frozen. Known rival properties surrounded. This isn't retaliation. This is annihilation protocol. You're escalating to full war, his lieutenant asks. Yeon-Woo's response is ice. They escalated. Cut to an abandoned shipping terminal. Noella is tied to a chair. Not harmed. Not yet. The rival faction leader steps into view. Calm. Smiling. You must be special. She stares back. You have no idea. He chuckles. Yeon-Woo built himself into something untouchable. He crouches in front of her. But every king has a pulse. She says nothing. Because silence is power. He studies her face. He's never reacted this fast before. Good. She hopes he's afraid. Back at headquarters. Maps spread across a massive table. Locations marked. Thermal satellite sweep on all docks. That's government monitored. I don't care. His voice is razor sharp. Drain their accounts. Leak their offshore holdings to tax enforcement. You're burning everything. Yes. He looks at the map again. They want emotion. A pause. I'll give them devastation. But beneath the cold strategy, there's something else. Fear. Not for reputation. For her safety. And that makes him more dangerous than ever. The rival leader leans closer. Does he make you feel safe? She looks at him calmly. Yes. He smirks. Then let's see how safe he is. A phone rings in his pocket. He answers casually. His expression slowly changes. From amused to unsettled. What do you mean frozen? Silence. What do you mean the East warehouse is gone? Another call interrupts. Then another. His empire begins collapsing in real time. Noella watches carefully. And for the first time, she smiles. Softly. He's here, she whispers. Outside the shipping terminal. Black vehicles glide into position. Silent. Precise. Yeon-Woo steps out. Not rushing. Not shouting. Calm. The kind of calm that means someone is about to disappear. His men move like shadows. Guards fall without gunfire. Doors breached. Inside. The rival turns, panicked now. This is impossible. Yeon-Woo walks into the warehouse. Alone. The room freezes. His gaze finds Noella instantly. Checks for injury. Finds none. Only then does he look at the rival. You miscalculated. The rival laughs nervously. You wouldn't destroy everything over one woman. Yeon-Woo tilts his head slightly. I already did. The finality in his tone drains the room of air. Within minutes, the rival is restrained. His organization dismantled. Finished. Yeon-Woo walks to Noella himself. Not a guard. Not a lieutenant. Him. He unties her hands carefully. His fingers tremble slightly. Just barely. Did they hurt you? No. Did they frighten you? A pause. Yes. Honest. He nods once. I'm sorry. She searches his face. You came. Yes. I knew you would. That cracks something in him. Because she trusted him. Even blindfolded. Even restrained. Even surrounded by enemies. She trusted him. He pulls her into his arms. Not possessive. Protective. Relieved. For the first time in the entire story. He exhales fully. Outside, sirens wail in the distance. Authorities will find the remains of a fallen empire by morning. News headlines will speculate. But no one will know the real reason. Back in the car, Noella looks at him quietly. You went to war. Yes. For me. Yes. Silence. Then she asks softly. Was it worth it? He looks at her. No hesitation. Yes. But this time, there's no pride in it. Only truth. Back at the estate, dawn breaks. Soft golden light. Everything looks peaceful. But the cost is clear. Enemies gone. Empire shaken. Lines crossed. Noella stands beside him at the window. You can't undo what you did. I don't want to. She studies him. You're not just protecting me anymore. No. What are you doing? He turns to her. Choosing you. News spreads fast. 3 rival operations collapse overnight. Assets frozen. Warehouses seized. Leaders missing. In the underworld, one message echoes. Yeon-Woo chose war. Inside the estate, however, it's quiet. Too quiet. Noella stands in the massive hallway alone. The floors gleam. The walls are pristine. But now she sees it differently. This isn't just a home. It's a fortress built from survival. And she realizes something dangerous. She doesn't want to live inside a fortress forever. A private meeting is called. Dim room. Long table. Men who once opposed Yeon-Woo now sit stiffly in silence. He enters. Calm. Unshaken. No raised voice. No threats. They already saw what happens when he moves without hesitation. One of them speaks carefully. The Han faction is finished. Another adds. No one will test you again. Yeon-Woo doesn't respond immediately. Then, I did not destroy them to make an example. A pause. I destroyed them because they cross a line. The room understands. That line is her. One elder finally says. You've changed. Yeon-Woo meets his gaze evenly. Yes. Not denial. Not apology. Ownership. Later that evening, Noella stands on the balcony again. But this time her expression isn't soft. It's thoughtful. He joins her. The council has accepted the new order, he says. You're stronger now. Yes. Untouchable. He doesn't answer. She turns toward him. That's not what I want. The words land quietly, but heavily. His eyes narrow slightly. Explain. She steps closer. I don't want to be the reason you become more feared. Silence. I don't want to be your weakness. You aren't. I don't want to be your reason for war either. That hits. Because it's true. Everything that burned because of her. She looks him in the eyes. You said you chose me. Yes. Then choose me fully. His jaw tightens. I have. No. She shakes her head gently. You chose me inside your world. A pause. I'm asking you to consider stepping outside of it. The air shifts. This is bigger than romance now. You're asking me to dismantle an empire, he says calmly. I'm asking you to decide what kind of man you want to be at the end of your life. Silence stretches. Heavy. You built all of this to survive, she continues softly. But you don't have to survive anymore. He studies her carefully. You think I can just walk away? I think you're powerful enough to. No fear in her voice. No manipulation. Just belief. And that belief shakes him more than any rival ever did. That night, he walks alone through the halls of his estate. Past rooms filled with artifacts of power. Contracts. Maps. Awards. Weapons locked in display cases. He remembers being young. Hungry. Unprotected. He built this empire so no one could ever corner him again. But now, the only thing he fears losing is her. His right-hand man approaches carefully. You called for me. Yes. A long pause. Prepare transition protocols. The lieutenant freezes. You're serious? Yes. You'll be vulnerable during restructuring. I know. And if someone attacks? He answers without hesitation. They won't. Because he will dismantle it strategically. Cleanly. On his terms. For once. He isn't reacting. His choosing. Morning. He finds Noella in the garden. Sunlight in her hair. Peaceful. Real. Not neon lights. Not guarded stages. Just her. I built my life on control, he says quietly. She looks up. And I never planned for something I couldn't calculate. She smiles faintly. That's life. He steps closer. If I step away, I lose influence. You gain freedom. If I restructure, it takes time. I'll wait. If enemies rise again. She interrupts softly. We face them together. Silence. Then, he does something unexpected. He removes his signet ring. The symbol of his authority. The emblem every Underworld leader recognizes. He looks at it for a long moment, then places it on the stone railing. I choose you, he says. Not dramatic. Not loud. Certain. Months later, the estate looks different. Less guarded. Less tense. Operations now run legally. Investments legitimate. Power redirected into business. The Underworld still whispers his name. But now it's with caution, not fear. Noella walks into a sunlit room. Not in sequins. Not on a stage. Just herself. Yeon-Woo stands by the window again. But he looks lighter. You regret it? She asks softly.
He turns to her. No.
Not even a little.
He steps closer.
I built an empire to protect myself.
He cups her face gently.
Now I protect a future.
She smiles.
So, are you still wondering if I was a virgin?
A rare smirk touches his lips. No. Good. He leans his forehead against hers. The world outside still exists.
Danger never disappears completely. But it no longer controls him.
Because the most powerful decision he ever made was not war,
Not domination.
not fear.
It was love.